Alright students, a very good morning to all of you. Now, inverse trigonometric function I have explained you in the previous video. Now we are going to take up the plotting of the graph for the sine inverse x and cosec inverse x. Alright, these two we are going to take up. Now, I have already explained you the inverse of a function can be found only if the given function is 1 1 on 2, or in another way you can say that the given function is a bijective function. And you all know that whether we consider sine function, means the sine x or cosec x, both these trigonometric ratios are many one function, many one onto function. Alright, so if you have to get the inverse function, that is sine inverse x and cosec inverse x, then what you have to do is you have to restrict the domain of the sine x or cosec x in such a way that it is converted into 1 1 onto function. I have already written over here the sine x maps into capital R, that is all the real numbers, into -1 to 1. This I think you are familiar with in class 11. From the class 11 you people are learning that the value of sine x can be restricted only up to -1 to 1 for any value of the x that is lying in the real number. Similarly, cosec x maps into capital R minus and pi. That means if you consider n is nothing but it is an integer. If you consider n is equal to 0, then r minus 0, n is equal to 1, then pi, r minus pi. For all these values, the cosec x will not be defined. So that is why we can say that again this cosec x is a many one into function for this particular domain. So in both the cases, that is whether it is sine x or cosec x, in both the cases we find I have drawn the diagram, I have plotted the graph for sine x only up to -pi/2 over here and up to pi/2. I am not going beyond this pi/2 ahead and beyond this -pi/2 at the back. So if we restrict our domain between -pi/2 to pi/2, you see the graph will be restricted only up to this. I hope the point is clear to all of you. The graph is restricted only up to this, and if we keep on drawing the parallel line parallel to x-axis, then you see this line is intersecting this curve at this particular point. So for that particular point, only one value of x we can obtain and only one value of y can be obtained over here. Similarly, if I consider this point where this parallel line is intersecting this curve, then one value of x and one value of y. So in nutshell you can say that under this situation, if we are restricting the domain from -pi/2 to pi/2, then we find that the sine function is converted into 1 1 onto function. Coming to this cosec x. Alright, over here again this cosec x function is restricted up to -pi/2 to +pi/2. Alright, I am not going beyond this, or we are going beyond this. Alright, so if we are restricting the domain from -pi/2 to pi/2, then again if you keep on drawing parallel line up to parallel to x-axis, then you find that this parallel line is intersecting the cosec curve at one single point over here and one single point over here. Similarly, from here on the x-axis, one single point and one single point over here. Alright, so what we have done is we have restricted the domain of the cosec x from -pi/2 to pi/2, and hence we are converting this cosec x into the 1 onto function. I hope till this point it is clear to all. Now let us come to the plotting of the graph for the sin inverse x and cosec inverse x. First let us take up the sin inverse x. As you see over here, again we have taken the x axis and y axis, and on the x axis and y axis, alright, we have taken various values of the x. That means this point is representing pi by 2 comma 0, and this point is representing minus pi by 2 comma 0. So if we go beyond this one, okay, this pink color graph is representing the sin x. This pink color graph is for the sin x, as was shown over here, if you remember. That I have drawn in the pink color over here. Okay, so this point, the coordinates of this point will be pi by 2 comma 1, and coordinates of this point will be minus pi by 2 comma minus 1. Alright, now in order to plot the graph for the sin inverse x, what I have done is an extra thing is drawn over here. Alright, which one is nothing but it is the straight line y is equal to x. Why I have drawn this one? Let me just explain you. I have written here sin inverse sin x is equal to x. Actually, it is nothing but it is f inverse of fx is equal to x. I think it will not be visible over here. F inverse of fx is equal to x. Alright. The same thing is, this whole thing is taken as y, then y is equal to x is the straight line. What is the use of this y is equal to x is any function and the inverse of that function. Any function and inverse of that function is always symmetrical about the straight line y is equal to x. Alright, so as you see this pink color graph is for the sin x, and the yellow one you can see is the sin inverse x. I will explain you what is the connection between these two. This y is equal to x straight line. I have taken 2 points, one on the sin x and one I have taken on the sin inverse x. Alright, so if any function is symmetric about a straight line, then we can, if you drop a perpendicular from here, then this length and this length are equal. That is the property of the symmetricity. So what you are finding is, over here this point, the coordinates of this point was pi by 2 comma 1. So what you have to do is, about this straight line, this coordinates will be converted into 1 comma pi by 2. You will get the sin inverse x with this point as 1 comma pi by 2. Similarly, if this point is representing, minus pi by 2 comma 1 minus 1, then if we reverse it, it will become minus 1 comma minus pi by 2. This length will be equal to this length, as was this length equal to this length. Alright, so this one is the sin inverse x and this one is your sin x. I hope the point is clear till this point. Okay? Pause.
Yes.
Now let us see for the cosec inverse x. First you focus on the cosec x. This maps in r minus n pi into minus infinity to minus 1 and union 1 comma infinity. Under this situation, again we are finding that the cosec x is a many one onto function. Alright, so in order to plot the graph for the cosec inverse x, you have to restrict again the domain of this one in such a way that it is converted into 1 onto function. As you can see over here, I have plotted the graph for the cosec x. Alright, this part is the dotted one that I am not considering. Alright, so if from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 and this point is representing 0, and you see the graph for the cosec x is an asymptote, or it is asymptotic about this y-axis over here. Similarly, about this y-axis, it is asymptotic about this one. Alright, so what we are doing is we are restricting this domain from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 only. Okay, so that if you draw straight lines like this, then I think I have explained you this. So let us come to the plotting directly for the cosec inverse x.
Start, sir.
Alright students, now we are coming to the plotting of the graph for the cosec inverse x. Alright, as you see, the domain of this cosec inverse x is from minus infinity to minus 1 box bracket union 1 comma infinity, 1 is included, and this one, that is infinity not included, and this will map into minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 minus 0. So let me first explain you what will happen if we consider any value, any x between this minus 1 to plus 1. Let us, I have taken an example. The value of x I have taken as minus 1 by 2. You can take any value from minus 1 to 0 and 0 to 1, any value you can take in order to explain why we are not taking from here to here. So if we consider this minus 1 by 2, then cosec inverse minus 1 by 2 let us take as equal to theta. This one is cosec, not cos. Cosec inverse minus 1 by 2 is equal to theta, then minus 1 by 2 is equal to cosec theta. And cosec theta can be written as 1 by sin theta, and minus 1 by 2 as it is I have written over here. So if you invert this sin theta, 1 by sin theta, then you will get sin theta, and here it is what? Minus 2 we are getting. So as we all know that the value of sin theta can never go beyond minus 1 to plus 1. This it should be restricted between minus 1 to plus 1, and here we are finding it is coming as minus 2, which is not at all possible. So that is why there is a gap from minus 1 to plus 1, and any value cannot be taken beyond this one. Alright, now let us come to the plotting of the graph. Alright, now there is a connection between the sine inverse graph and the cosec inverse graph. As I have explained you over here, this yellow graph, more clearly I have drawn over here. The yellow graph is representing the sine inverse graph, and this one is representing the sine x. I am not concerned about this one. You think about this sine inverse curve. If I plot the sine inverse curve over here, alright, like this, you can see that sine inverse curve is similar to over here. This point coordinate is nothing but what? 1 comma pi by 2, and this one is minus 1 comma minus pi by 2. So if we plot the sine inverse curve over here, then what you do is you cut this part, that means this one, and take the reflection of this one over here. Yes. I hope the point is clear.
Yes.
Okay? If we are just cutting this one and take the reflection of this, and it should not touch the x-axis anywhere. It should be asymptotic over here again. Similarly, if this part is cut and from here if it is inverted, then it goes beyond like this. Alright, asymptotic along this one, that is x-axis. Alright, so this is the way in which, or you can say the connection between the plotting of graph of sine inverse x and cosec inverse x. Alright, sine inverse x you can plot, and from the point where the sine inverse x graph is terminating on the two sides, from there you just cut it. This part is cut and fixed over here. This part is cut over here and fixed in the opposite direction, taking as the rotation. I hope the plotting of the graph for the sine inverse x and cosec inverse x both are clearly, you have understood it clearly. Alright, thank you.